Give it to you right.
All night, no, we ain't never gonna stop. I
Never had it like this before.
no, gotta keep it together.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a real good, a sexual fight.
Give it to you all night, right?
I'ma take you some loving, sweet delicious somethings. Only you, I'm so gifted. See the floods on the brings. Gonna take it to the floor, what's up? Top flexibility, you gon' find out. Time out, gon' put out. No down, no down. Mega ishimasu. Baby, tell me how you feel. Straightforward, 100, keeping always real. Cause I'm giving it to you right. Pleasure on, going all night. You know the deal, and it gon' last for life.
Hi, Charlene. Come on in.
All right. What is up, everybody? It is good to have you all back for another episode, season 2 of From Her Point of View Talk Show. Brought to you by I Said It Management. It's your girl, LeeLee the Goddess, and the lovely, legendary
Mimie Acosta in the building.
That's right. And how you can find me is if you want to listen to some of my stuff, you go and Google LeeLee the Goddess on Google, and you'll find me on different social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc.
All right, and you can find Mimie Acosta via at M.I.A Entertainment Group on Instagram, Mimie Acosta on Facebook, Twitter, you name it. Google Mimie Acosta, MIMIEACOSTA, as you see right here in yellow. Make it happen.
So today we have the lovely celebrity guest. I'm telling you, she's a wonderful person. Her name's Andrea Ward, celebrity stylist, TV producer, actress, award-winning film director, screenwriter, published model, fashion designer. Woo!
Thank
A whole
you.
lot of hats, baby. A whole lot of hats.
Whole lot of hats. What's up, Queen?
Hey, beautiful ladies. How you guys doing? And thank you for such an amazing introduction. And it is a lot of hats, but I'm also known as Andrea the Creative. I'm able to do everything.
Woo! That's what's
it.
up. And what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Gemini. I'm actually a twin Gemini.
Gemini in the house, y'all.
And a
Gemini in
twin.
the house.
And a twin at that. You know what's to have a twin? A twin, look, female, male, okay? Not like female, but female, male. Can you just understand? Two Geminis are born together, ain't the same building.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brother that was a Gemini. May he rest in peace. My daughter's a Gemini. I know the raising of a Gemini, baby. Y'all are not easy.
At times, but we make things fun. You know, it's never a dull moment.
Well, Prince sure did. God rest his soul.
Yes, but who's the quiet one and who's the loud one? Because in twins, even like, you know, and Gemini at that, somebody's the loud one and somebody's like the quiet one. Do you guys have that with you back too?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably the loud one, and I'm more like in your face. Hey, everybody, you know, my brother, he's more like to himself. He's a little quiet. He'll talk like if you talk to him and stuff. I'm more kind of out there like, hey, you know, I might do something really random and funny, or I just might be super random. You just never know what you're going to get with me. I'm like a box of chocolates. So
I like that saying. Where can everybody find you on social media platforms, Queen?
Yes, so everyone can find me at www.redemptionimages.com. Also, Redemption Images on Instagram. Andrea the Creative is my public figure page as well, too. And as well as Twitter, Redemption Images.
Beautiful.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
Thank you.
Hey. All right, let's talk about love. Let's talk about romance. Let's talk about relationship. Let's get into it from our point of view. Where should we start, Miss Mimie? What you want to start at?
Look, We could start everywhere. I know that there's going to be some things. So for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the public know how this works. Okay. There's going to be some questions that we might ask that Andrea is going to give us the zipper. And if she give us the zipper, we're going to the next question because Simon says some things you just don't ask pretty ladies. So what had happened was, so first question up. Okay. And I'm going to say just like in being in a relationship, like what do you think with you being in the industry, what's like the biggest challenge that you've had, like whether it's in your past or now or just in general with relationships?
I would definitely say in the past, as far as like relationships and being in the industry, it's very difficult, especially trying to figure out if that person really wants you for you
Yes.
or is trying to get to the next level in their careers or to piggyback off of your career and your accomplishments. And then two, fighting over the spotlight when you get to a red carpet event. That's like the worst thing ever, and it really shows someone's like true intentions and their true side. A lot of times they come to you as like Prince Charming on a beautiful white horse. They're there to save the day, but then oftentimes they are not there to save the day. They are there to just take advantage of you. And in my industry, or in the industry in general, with dating, like a lot of people aren't as genuine as they appear to be.
Right. So how, I mean, do you think it's easier to date someone outside or inside the industry? Because it looks like if you've had someone in the industry and they are like going back and forth for the spotlight, that means that you probably dated somebody in the industry to say like for them to even think that they can compete with you, you know?
Exactly.
And have you dated someone out of the industry?
Yes. Actually, my boyfriend now, it's been nothing but amazing. He's been nothing but amazing, and I have no complaints. I'm completely happy. But before that, it was just, man, I could probably write a book on it and probably turn it into a movie.
Maybe you
Yes,
should. Y'all, I mean,
yes.
what's nothing stopping you? There's nothing to stop you from that.
Hey,
So,
look, you had a couple of producers right here. We can make some things happen, okay?
and whatever you need. I mean, if you needed a PA, I've done all spectrum, positions and hats. It don't matter. You can throw me as a director of photography. I could do that too.
And she will drive in town, okay? So we can make it happen.
I would. Yes, we got to make a lot of things happen. And I think that
Yes.
giving advice to some of the people out there, gentlemen, from a woman's point of view, we do have a lot to say, and it's not just nagging. It's not just nagging. It's not
Right.
just, okay, what we feel like we're lacking. We want to please our partner too. We want to please our men. It's what is it like? For some people, it's like 50-50, and others it's 100 and 100. However you want to cut and slice the cake.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
And that's that where to go.
So run with it, LeeLee. Give us the next. Let's go. We on fire.
So let's see. We do have a question from Miss Lizzie. She says, Andrea, what makes someone know if they are in a real relationship or just puppy love?
From your point of view.
From your point of view.
That is actually a good. Sorry, that's my daughter in the background. That's actually a really good question. So you'll know is if like you are in a really dire situation, or let's just say your power went out at your place and you need somewhere to stay. Like definitely during the winter, they would let you in. Like if that person is not willing to do X, Y, Z for you, especially in a time of need, then it definitely wasn't real from the beginning, because if someone really loves you, they're going to do everything they can to support you, to take care of you, or be there when you need them the most, So when times like that come, it's a test. So
Yes.
that test come, they will show you their true colors, if not tell you.
Mm-hmm. They're going to show their colors. That's right.
Yes.
Good one. I like that. What do you think, Miss Mimie?
Yeah, no, I am all for it. I'm just look. Tonight. I'm gonna do a whole lot of listening. I'm gonna do some asking, but I'm gonna do some listening because this is the thing, right?
Right.
When you reach a certain age, sometimes you have to listen to other ladies' point of views because we're
Yes.
never too old to learn something from the youngsters.
Of course. Of
I'm
course.
just saying. Sometimes I listen to stuff and I'm like, okay. And you're right, Andrea. What I'm saying when I say, all about the support system. It's either gonna be there or it's gonna not. And if
Exactly.
it is, great. If it isn't, then you know what time it is.
Exactly. Exactly.
This
And thank you
is
everybody out there for joining us for another episode of From Her Point of View, hearing everything that we got to say with the lovely Mimie Acosta and the lovely Andrea Ward. I'm telling you, all these beautiful, gorgeous people in the house. Woo! Ladies, give yourself a clap.
yes. Hey DJ, we see you, love. Thank you so much.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I think that it's important to get some more of these questions. And so ladies, how do you know that that person is the one for you and it isn't just a moment or a phase?
Shit, when you take them through hell and they're still there.
Yeah, basically. It kind of coincides with the last answer, I would have to say, because if somebody is put through trials, if you're put through a sort of trial like what you were saying, Andrea, then they stand in the test and they're still around, then they're going to still be around. Then that's your ride. I don't want to say ride or die. Let's not die. Let's ride and fly, not ride or die. Let's ride and
Right.
fly. Yeah.
Right. See, because the thing with that too is, especially nowadays, it's all about that dual support system. We do not come packaged perfectly. That's not going to happen. So more or less, you just have to know what you're willing to deal with, what not,
Right.
and it's all in communication. I always say that. I'm going to always say that for the course of this season, guys. In every episode, you're going to hear Mimie saying it. Everything is in communication. The person cannot read your mind, so they don't know what you're going through, what's going on. But if you let it all out in the beginning, and as you go, you're fixing things and doing things, and together you have that mutual support with one another, then you really shouldn't have any issues.
Right.
Shouldn't.
Exactly.
You really shouldn't. They'll come in, dime a dozen. Just like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be crazy.
And we love you too, Lizzie. Yes, it shouldn't be crazy. Andrea, do you think that you would ever be inspired to do a theme in your fashion about relationships, like romance, not just your typical like Valentine's, but something deeper?
Yeah, actually, that is in the works right now. Before COVID, I got invited to showcase in Milan, Paris, Dubai, Tokyo. It would be called Life After the Storm, which is inspired just by every woman that has ever been through trauma with relationships, that had to take time to reclaim themselves, find their new identity, what makes them them, and change the things that they don't like about themselves, that they don't see fit in their life because they're going into a new chapter. So this is dedicated to every woman that has recovered from their traumas, turned their pain into power. So it's called Life After the Storm, and that is the redemption.
Beautiful.
Ooh, that is
I'm
deep.
loving that.
Oh yes, I like that a
I'm
lot.
loving that. And I am loving your jacket because, we just have to talk about your style. And I'm
Yes,
loving it right
we've
now.
got to throw that in there.
We had that little close up, and I'm here looking at the jacket like, you know what? I am actually loving this because you can wear that with your lighter jeans. You can wear that with some black jeans or even white jeans. Like it's really beautiful. So tell us a little bit about that, because I know that you didn't buy that in the store. And if you did, I don't even know where it's at.
No, I actually made this by hand. I want to say about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I grew up listening to rock music and watching Queen of the Dam and Lost Boys. I was inspired. So this is a two-tone rocker jacket.
Yes.
Yes.
I hand stitched this. I put in all the spikes by hand myself. It took me a little bit of time. And then I also have a diamond Vogue jacket too. So I also like to express myself in different ways. And I come from a fashion background.
Yes. See, and it's really crazy because, like, when I was growing up at home, my brothers, they would buy like all these different jeans and, of course, cut them up and slice them together. And then they got these two-tone jeans. So they like started this whole style thing back in the day with the two tones. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I recall that. So bringing that back is nice. Even if you didn't even know that was something of the past, it's like, okay, you know what? You just starting this trend all over again. And life is a cycle, just like fashion.
Yes.
It's like the bell bottoms and all this other stuff, and
Bring it back.
You're bringing it back. So thank you.
Right. That's right.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. And also too, I have a whole collection coming up for my next future film too. So all the designs for every a character in a supernatural film I designed myself. So I'm like getting back into what I originally fell in love with in the first place before film.
Beautiful. Awesome. I love it. Okay, so I think my lady had a pretty long question and I didn't get the widths of it. Okay, so what do you do in a relationship if things are great, years go by, and family break up the relationship? Do you fix the relationship and work it out or let the person go? Well, first of all, you shouldn't have let the family break it up in the first place. And if the family broke it up, then there was a weak link or there was something happening that shouldn't have been happening. That's how I see it.
All right, all right. What do you think, Andrea? What you
That
feeling?
was actually a really good question.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if
Happens
two
a lot.
people, yeah, I mean, like if two people really love each other, nothing should be able to get in the way of that. And if the family truly loves that person that's also in a relationship dating someone else, then that's your way of showing your love by being supportive. You know, if you're trying to break up a happy relationship, then that just means there's some other issues and traumas that need to be addressed, or maybe they're projecting their issues onto that person, and their relationship maybe is jealousy, or maybe it's something that they would love to have but they don't really know how to perceive it or be open to it. A lot of people are not open to genuine love. A lot of people are used to toxic relationships, or trying to be the next, let's say, Christian Rock, or just what they project on national TV, and then the masses to the media, like that's like the new norm, and it doesn't help too. And also, yes, it doesn't help. And if he's a mama's boy, it does make it rather difficult because she's hindering him from being the man that he has to grow up to be one of these days. You have to leave the nest, you have to start a life of your own and a chapter of your own, especially if you're involved with someone else. So I don't think families should be able to break up a relationship if it's that strong.
Right. I'm definitely with that all
Do
the way.
you find that there are a lot of relationships where they tend to the people get married, they think that they can make it work, and then next thing you know, they have children or one child, two children, three, and then they go through a divorce, and now have this broken family. Do you find that there's a lot of situations like that? Single mothers, they got to do it all by themselves. It's hard to find the right other half.
Yeah, I've actually been through that, and it was many moons ago because we're talking about my son is 30, my daughter's 32. So that was many moons ago. But yeah, it did happen. And it did happen in those times when, folks are hot headed. You're young, you're trying to find your way. Then, you get pregnant because you're out here being hot. You don't know what's going on in the world. So the first thing you do is boop, get pregnant.
It's still hot, Mimi. What are you talking about? You never stop
Hey,
being hot. The moment I saw your first picture, I
thank
was
you.
like,
Let me
hey,
pop the collar a little bit over here.
pop it.
but,
I
but
mean, there's nothing but hot queens right now. Dang.
yes, yes. But we go through that. We go through that, and now
Yeah.
it becomes that. And it's a sad story because it's like
Yeah.
you move on, and then is the kids looking back like, okay, you know what, like I need my daddy, I want my daddy, and then they're dragging their daddy along into something that the mother is trying to move away from. So it just becomes that thing, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's like one of the reasons why I just let my son just go live with his dad, because his dad was trying to like, like, nah, you're not going anywhere. And I was like, you know what, it's all about your son. Okay, raise him. You know what I'm saying? I had my baby girl with me, and they have different dads. So, and it, it worked out the way it should have worked out. And you just got to learn how to pray about things, and let it go, and, co-parent. Co-parenting is a big thing. And I scream that all day today because we don't have a lot of that. Because if it's not, and I'm not bashing, I'm not trying to male bash, and I'm not trying to female bash, but there are a lot of females out here that are on that, against the male thing, talking bad to the kids about daddy, and now the kids feel a certain way. And, so there's just a lot of that. And it happens vice versa as well. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, if you guys couldn't get along, don't do the bad thing for the kids to be now trying to figure out, what do I do? Because that's a very bad place for kids to be as well. Now they have to
Yeah.
grow out with that, and then they're going to either resent one or the other, and things happen. It gets ugly somehow.
Or sometimes a parent could end up, you know, polluting the mind of one child
Yes.
if unless or if there's more involved, and next the children will take the side of, let's say, the father, because he has the vehicle, he has the job, and let's say the mother spent her time being a stay-at-home mom, making sure that the food was ready, the house was clean, the children did their homework, and because believe it or not, you go to a bank or you go anywhere, it actually says that that's a job. That is a job to be a stay-at-home mom. There's a job. We don't get paid for it, but unless there's a divorce, then I guess you cut that check. But
Right.
other than that, it's like if the children if are used to to spite the other parent, I think that's cruel. That's
A
it's
bargaining
awful.
chip. A
Yeah,
bargaining chip.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's cruel. So do you find, long story short, that there's a lot of situations like that? Like, what percent would you put that on, ladies? From your point of view? Don't have to be correct, but like from your point of view, how often you see it?
I would say about a good 60, 70%. You do see that quite often. And especially when kids grow up, in a broken home, without having both parents, or maybe, living with mom. She's a single parent raising 2 and 3 kids and still having to work and be the provider, the doctor, the nurse, the lawyer, all these different job titles, and still, it makes it very complicated. But at the end of the day, if the two parents cannot get along and co-parent, the children suffer, and then that behavior is going to be stuck with them, and they're going to pass it on to their kids and children's children and children. It's a repeated cycle that just needs to be broken.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And it takes the mature ones to break that cycle.
Yes.
You just gotta weigh it, because I wasn't a big cheerleader of I'm gonna leave my son with his dad. But at the time I was like, you know what? He needs to be raised by his daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I need to stop some of this animosity that's going on between us. And if leaving my son with him and he is the dad, then I'm gonna just do that. You know. And with my daughter, it's like she had me. So it was just very easy to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you still get cut short somewhere, because it's like my son is like, he felt like his mommy wasn't there, or I wasn't there enough. And I felt like I missed out on him too, his growing up, his kindergarten graduation, because I wasn't told when the graduation was, and all that type of stuff, that things that you miss, and then they get older, and then they start to resent, and it becomes this ugly thing. And it's like, look, you know, charge it to the game and keep it moving.com. At the end of the day, we're all alive in a
I love that.
of ground. Let's just keep it moving. Let's just go.
Love that. I love that. Keep it
Next,
charging.com.
keep it charging.com.
Andrea, what is your perfect date night?
I'm pretty simple. I'm not complicated. It could just be a day at the park, a picnic with some wine. Long as there's wine and food, I have no complaints at all. Or maybe going to like a rooftop restaurant with candles lit, some nice music, or salsa dancing. I love to dance.
Okay.
As long as there's like music, food, liquor, occasionally, but definitely food.
Yes.
That's my ideal date night.
I don't really know a single Gemini or Scorpio that don't like to dance.
Oh yeah. Look, I'll dance to a commercial.
Which is what we're gonna be going on
You
soon.
just find me like, hey. Look, sometimes to nothing. As long as if the elevator music has a beat, I'm gonna be bopping to it.
Oh, I like that. That's good. That is really good.
It's wild.
What are your turn-offs and turn-ons in a relationship?
Oh, yeah. That's a really good
That's a fun one.
Yeah, okay.
Go, Lizzie.
Is there a zipper? She's like,
No, there's not a zipper.
okay.
No, I would say turnoffs. I despise liars. I despise anyone that is dishonest, anyone that's selfish. Like, I'm selfless, so I'm definitely not selfish. Someone that is like self-centered. overly or cocky. Just I don't like cockiness or anything of that nature. I'm just not built that way. I'm not that type of woman. What I don't tolerate too is someone that is not supportive of what I have going on as well, or that it would be close-minded too, because I'm also a creative person. I'm open-minded. So if you're not open to what I got going on or what I'm saying, or you're not trying to receive it, it's not going to work. And also too, if you're not good with kids or if you despise kids and animals, I have a twerking dog. And
A
little girl,
twerking dog.
you gotta love animals and children, you know.
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's age group. I don't know what it is. But what is a twerking dog? I've never heard of that.
Oh, so my dog Rio, like you gotta put on a beat though, or if you got a treat, he'll go like this and then start grabbing it. And then I'm like, is he twerking? So when I first got him, I was like, I know he's not twerking. And he looks back at you and he's twerking, just throwing it. I'm like, I don't have any treats. I don't know what his last owner did. I don't have the Megnies for one. I don't have the Megnies. He didn't learn it from me. You know, just put that out there.
That is cute. That's cute.
Oh, it is. It really is. I love it.
The
I
only
absolutely
thing close to that would be my old rabbit that passed away a few years ago. And I learned that one of our stuffed dolls was his girlfriend.
Ew.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to throw it away. It started to smell.
Wow. Well, look, guys, before the beat drop, because I already feel it coming, we got some bills that we got to pay. So let's take this opportunity to make that happen
See you after the commercial break.
after the commercial break. Yes. Andrea's in the building.
Something about that music. It just, ooh.
and these are my official sponsors. Shout out to business owner Dolores Green on Facebook, and please go visit her at hairbossbiz.com. You can contact her directly at hairbossbiz@gmail.com. Also, shout out to CEO of M.I.A. Entertainment Group, film, TV, and producer, the legendary Mimie Acosta. Shout out to business owner and podcast host Sophia Latrice. She has a spa in Plainfield, Illinois, and visit her website at lenicealex.com. Shout out to CEO and radio personality Cantone. You can visit his website at streetscienceradio.com. Shout out to author and animation commercial creator Linda Gregory. You can visit her website at LeeLee.com. Shout out to business owner, the elite reader and licensed phlebotomist Cherie Patterson. Call her directly at 469-340-6489. And shout out to author with both her audiobook and hard copy novel Through the Eyes of Nitsi, Denise Donnerson. Order her book today on Amazon. The celebrity interviewer, I said it, and I approve this message.
Can find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out. Move, and I rise up, high like the waves. I rise up, in spite of the ache. I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you.
All right, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to From Her Point of View Talk Show, Season 2, Episode 2. We have the lovely Andrea Ward on the show with your girl, LeeLee the Goddess, and
Mimie Acosta.
let's get back into this. All right, and this is brought to you by I Said It Management. Please be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notified anytime we go live. Mwah.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Andrea Ward in the building. I loving it.
Good vibes only.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for sticking it out with us, the beautiful Elizabeth Smith. Go
That's
ahead, Ambassadoress,
right.
baby.
That's right.
Love it.
We already got a question. If you first meet someone in general, somebody first meets someone and they aren't their type, do they let them down gently or just finish the day and not see them after that?
That's a good question.
It's all in communication.
Mm-hmm. communicate that from the beginning.
Yes, yes. I will definitely finish the date because we might be playing a game of pool. I might be beating your butt. I want to finish beating you up on that pool table. And,
Oh,
but it's definitely a conversation to have because, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. And it's better to be honest with the individual than to string them along. And then, they find out later on that, damn, she wasn't into me all along. That what happened? What did I do? Or just let them know where you're not feeling it. So maybe they can fix it because
right.
it might just be something simple. It might be something in their attitude. It may be something that stems along from them growing up and it's some changes that they need to make for themselves. And, so you have that conversation with them because if you spend some time with that individual, like within the first 5 minutes of a conversation with somebody, whether you could be into this or not.
Yeah.
But if you go on a date with somebody, you're spending some time with them, then it's like you're going to see these little things that you're going to be like, gee, I think that this might be a deal breaker later, but you want to nip it then
In the butt.
because
Nip it in the booty.
you don't want to jump on that bandwagon and then you be the result of that back and forth. We ain't having that.
No,
Not
we're
in this
not.
day and age.
So what
No.
do you think, Andrea?
Yeah, and not with
You
the
would
things
nip
that
it in
we
the butt
do.
or just finish the
I,
date?
I would just nip it in the butt though. I would be honest with him or her. I
Yes.
would be very honest and very transparent. But you know what? You never know what could come out of it. Maybe you guys can network. Maybe you guys may form an amazing friendship. It may not have worked romantically, ideally, but maybe you could form a friendship and work together. I mean, you can network in all different avenues in all different ways. I think being transparent from the beginning, but still finish out the day, still have a good time. You're already there. The food's probably already been ordered. Why not
Right.
finish it out on a good note?
Right.
Yes. Yes. And I think, a guy would appreciate that more so than you're just telling them and being maybe blunt or having an
Yep.
attitude about it or nose up in
Suck
the
up.
air about it. But you
Yeah,
have that
cocky.
conversation like, look, I think there might be some things that you might need to work on, and this is what I saw tonight. I really didn't like it, but I think you're a cool individual, and maybe we can work together somehow, or maybe not. But at the end of the day, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine. But kudos, thank you so much. Dinner was excellent. I mean, do you need anything? You want me to tip
Nice
the
try.
person? You just
Nice try. That's what I'll tell him. Nice try though.
no. To see that's
No, let me tell you. It depends on the situation. Let me explain before somebody chops my head off for this one.
go, honey, because I'm coming after
You
you.
could be on a date because I was on a date one time. We could be on a date going bowling, and you make it perfectly clear to the suit. I'm gonna call him that. The suit, because he
Uh-huh.
picked me up. He hollered at me. I was at the club and he was on duty, and so we got a date. I said, okay, I'll give you a date. Whatever. But I made it clear. So even if you make it clear to them, sometimes they still try to see what they can win. And he says, I'll tell you what, if I win and I beat you at bowling, do I get a kiss? I said, no. And he says, well, why? Are you afraid you're gonna lose? I'm like, trust me, you are not going to beat me at bowling. It's not happening, buddy. And he didn't beat me at pool either, and he didn't get the kiss. It wasn't happening. I said no.
Right. Right.
No. No is no. Dang it.
Yeah. It's really crazy that you would say that because my daughter my daughter went through her little share of boys before she went through her little share of girls, right? But when she went through her little period when she was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be testing the waters with these little boys and see what's up. If they even remotely ask her for a kiss, she was done. she would come she would come home and I always made it that I would have a relationship with whoever she brought around. Because I'm just like, I just want to make sure that my baby is comfortable. But whenever they would come around, they'd be like, Miss Mimi, I don't know what I did. And I'm like, did you ask her to hold her hand or kiss her? And I just wanted to hold her hand while we were skating. Big mistake. And there's nothing I could do about it. But she'd be like deuces with the quickness.
Right.
Men
Some
are hunters from
Yeah, you sometimes you have to be cold-hearted. I'm not gonna say cold-hearted. Is sometimes you have to be bluntly direct. It really depends on the situation. Like I'm not saying you're gonna do that all the time. If it's a sweetheart, obviously you're gonna let them down nicely. But
yes,
there's some people, not just guys but girls. There's some people in general that don't take a hint, and so you have
yes,
no choice but to let out the other side.
See, and when they don't take a hint, that's a serious sign because
Yeah.
it's either a sign of narcissism or
Yeah.
control, which control
Ooh.
does fall under narcissist
Yeah.
and all that good old stuff. But it's just a bad sign
Oh my
when they
gosh.
don't take the sign. If they don't take the sign well, you know that it's a future problem. Walk away.
You're hitting the nail on the head. Kink.
Yes.
Especially if you tell them no and they try to get physical anyway or try to force like a kiss on you or something. Like there was one incident, I didn't even know the person. I just happened to be out. I felt something touch my shoulder. I saw some lips coming to the throat.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Sometimes
Yes.
you have to. Sometimes you have to. And then you got to
Yes.
let out that other side of yourself that's a little bit more aggressive.
Yes.
Whether it's with your mouth, your words, you have to be more aggressive with your words or with your fists. And you don't really want to have to go there, but
Yes.
can't help it,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
that's not gonna happen. That's an automatic situation right there. Brick Malone, thank you so much. Brick Malone said men are hunters from they will try everything. Yes, honey. From beep beep beep. I got you. I got you on that, babe girl.
That's right. And of
Definitely.
course you got some Amazons out there.
Yes, honey. And Lizzie had one of those lengthy questions. I love her questions because she be having these questions that be having
She's
to
not
go.
playing games.
She's not. Let me see.
Uh-uh.
What do you do if a person only talks about one topic? They can turn any conversation back to one thing. Relate the conversation about superheroes to anything. How do you say you're not interested?
That's a really great question. I love your questions.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Maybe if they only talk about one topic, I would say probably it's because they're probably nervous themselves. And sometimes you have to like break the ice with people. Have you guys ever been like on a date where the person is just like really nervous? They don't really know what to say because they're feeling, you know, of course, you know how we're gonna step out. We're gonna step out in all our beauty, in all our curls, and all our pizzazz, and they're gonna be like, "Oh shoot, I gotta," they think that we're high maintenance, and it's not that we're high maintenance. We just like to look good, So they get a little intimidated. They don't want to say much because they ain't trying to break nothing, and then here we come with all of this. Do you lead them into conversations that we can have together, or do you just stick with the one topic like this dude ain't saying nothing? I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
I would say change the topic of conversation, if not try to crack a joke or,
Break
if
the
it's
ice.
something that they might like, or hey, have you seen that new movie? Or what do you think about this? Or me, I would randomly just crack a joke or just do something really random.
To break the ice.
It definitely breaks the ice for
Yes.
sure. It breaks
Right.
the ice. That usually works.
Yes. Because they're already walking on needles anyway. You step in there with your stilettos and your jeans and your pretty little jacket with your hair all curled up and stuff, and they're like, "Oh shit, what did I get myself into?"
Exactly. And if they still, no matter what you do, if they still will not change the subject, that really says a lot too. That says that what else can you possibly talk about? That means it's not going to last that long. And if you try to make it last long, or even end up in a marriage with someone like that where they only still talk about that one thing, even if it's been 50 years,
Yeah.
it's time to you got to do what's right for you, and in a way it doesn't sound selfish because sometimes you can get really sick. You put yourself in an unhealthy relationship, and that person's everything is about that person. It's everything's got to be about superheroes. Everything's got to be, let's say you're not in the film business, everything's got to be about film, and that person, then they can't be your partner, because if they don't have anything to contribute to that conversation, or even the industry itself, they have nothing, they got nothing to talk about. You're gonna lose interest. How could you not?
Yes.
How
And
could you not?
it's really perfect. It's really great when you do have someone that's not in the industry though, because it's like you're talking about how his day went, you know,
Right.
and then you're talking about how your day went, and it's like, oh, okay. It's like you can't really relate a whole lot, but you understand each other and you support one another anyway. So everything is interesting and intriguing,
That's
especially to
right.
somebody that's not in the industry. It's like everything is this, everything is fireworks. Like, oh, okay, really? Is that how that go? Okay, you know. But
And if they still don't talk about something, I'm gonna keep going on this one. If they still won't, if they're not in the industry and they still got nothing to say, even though you're saying I want to know how your day went, how's work? You don't want to hear about work, but I just asked you, I want to hear about work. What did you do? How many pools did you clean? Did you do this? What did you do? Did you kick anybody's butt today? Like it's if you're still trying to pry stuff out of a person no matter what, again, the whole point is, long story short, whether it's no matter the situation, you got to have something in common, even if it's just to try to have something in common. Even if that alone is what you have in common, is that you both are relentless and want to have a conversation about something. Candy, food, going to trips to the Cape. I don't care. Talk about something.
yeah. Or just give him the space that he needs when he comes home so he can detox, because he might have been, look, we in the industry, the art, because we are creatives, we
Yes.
can step away from everything and just go into our own little zone when we need to.
Right.
If he has a full-time job or maybe several jobs and he's dealing with people all day, every day, employees, laka, and he just wants to come home and detox, let that man come home, take off his shoes, let him get the hell on, detox, and just pillow talk later.
Right. It'll all come into play.
It'll all come into play. But then, of
Right.
course, that comes with time, getting to know the individual. If you're living together, all this good old stuff. It comes with stuff. And I think that I saw Brick Malone put up earlier, boundaries. You got to know your place in the relationship. Every single day, you don't want to have a conversation about what happened at work, what happened. We might want
Exactly.
to talk about something on the news, or we might want to talk about the dog that we might probably be looking into getting, or are we thinking about a cat, or are we thinking about a trip, or it just might be something totally away from work. Some people don't even
Right.
want to talk about work when they finish work.
Right. Yeah. Some people. Yeah.
You're writing a movie, you don't want to talk about the movie while you're writing the movie. You just kind of like, get into something else, have a glass of wine and detox. you know
Mm-hmm.
let's watch some lions, and lion, birds and something. Let's go to YouTube and watch some stuff. Where are we
And
going
what
to
about the
today?
workaholics, ladies? Well, I mean, Andrea, would you consider yourself a workaholic, or do you have a
Yeah.
balance?
I consider myself a workaholic. I'm still working on the balancing part because I mean, you have to balance out your life. You can't just work 24/7. But that's all pretty much that I know. I've been working at a very young age. Like I started everything from like 14, 15 and up. So that's pretty much all I'm working. So right now I'm still balancing because having to be a mom, having to deal with my business ventures, having to deal with clients, having to write, direct, produce, swing, fight with swords occasionally. That's just for stunt and film world.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I promise, I'm harmless. I'm harmless.
Yeah, right.
I like it.
If you owe me money, then I feel bad for you. I feel so bad for
Anyone
you.
that says that I know how to hold a gun, but if I go to the shooting range, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Yeah. Okay, so I believe you. Uh-huh.
Do you think that we need more films that kind of reflect a woman's point of view in the first place? Like specifically, not just those films like what's that? No, there's a lot of films like that, but I'm talking about like literally from a woman's point of view, the other side of the spectrum where the relationship doesn't work out, not just where you get, that what is that movie where they all get together and they're making each other feel better? No, I'm not talking about that one. But you probably all know what I'm talking about, but I'm not talking about that film. You know it, but I'm not talking about that one. But I'm talking about like specifically something very deep from a different side of the spectrum that hasn't been done yet. There's a lot of stories that haven't been done yet. Nobody's touching it.
We're
Why
gonna talk
not?
we're gonna talk about that away from the show, because that sounds like, pick a theme. We're sitting here
Specifically
like,
from her point of
"Do-do-do-do-do."
view, like from her point of view, like like how like you have a point of view, the camera angle is point of view. So a woman's point of view, literally, she's it's all about when it doesn't work out at all. She's alone. She's sometimes it doesn't work out, people, and so we need to think about that for a minute.
You
What do we do?
detox, you clear your mind, you get back
Mhm.
on track, and next, because life goes on.
Life does go on. We need some more films about that though. Go ahead, Andrea, make it happen.
I'm already on it.
Yes.
See, look at that. Yes. Okay, let me see. I'm a writer and I make time for people and I counsel and I still make time. If someone wants it to work, it will. And you're right. You're right. Little people in a relationship.
Yes, and yes, she is a little person. I love you. You're big in my eyes. I love you.
Yes. Yes. Love it.
There was one thing I wanted to say too. Um, when it comes to relationships and being in two different industries, as long as you're able to have a mutual understanding and you're able to listen and compromise and be able to, the main thing is compromise, being honest with one another and being able to enjoy each other's company.
Yes.
Like I should be able to laugh with you about anything and everything. Like as long as I'm able to be my true self. When I'm
Yes.
home, I'm completely me. When I'm outside these doors, I am Andrea Ward, the celebrity filmmaker. But home, I am just
Right.
Andrea. I'm mom, you know, or I'm
Yes.
girlfriend, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think being able to enjoy and laugh, like laughter just helps with relationships when you're able to just have fun and act like a big kid.
Yes. I totally agree with you on that. I do. I'm not going to reiterate. I'm just going to agree.
I do. I do agree with that a lot. I do.
Yes. Definitely.
And I
Definitely.
think I think that we're I think we have a stereotype, right? What do you think? Anytime we do see a person portray any complaints again like that a woman could possibly make, it's just always nagging. It's not nagging. Again, it's just there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in order for things to last long. Every day you step into another chapter, like what you were saying earlier. You step into a new chapter, that's a chapter another day, another chapter. And
Yes.
sometimes you don't know what side of the bed somebody woke up on.
Right. And that comes as a result of folks internalizing stuff and not communicating, because that happens a whole lot,
Or
especially,
overthinking.
yeah, especially when it comes to men, because they are feeling like, if they talk about it, then they're either like less of a man,
Yeah,
or they want to, or it's all depending too on the women, because sometimes women make men feel inferior if they come to them with their feelings. But this is the thing, men are human beings too, and just like we have feelings, they do too, and we have to be able to listen to what they have, and understand it, and like, okay, babe, let's work this out, because we're not alone in the relationship, so we have to be able to allow that, you know
do you think that Andrea, do you think that us ladies are heard enough, or there's more that we have to say that we just don't say?
I feel like it's a lot of things we don't say. We might say one or two things, but if we aren't being heard, we're not going to repeatedly repeat ourselves about the same thing we are complaining about. We may have concerns and issues. I know I'm not the type to repeat myself, especially if it's something affecting me or if something I have a concern about. If I'm expressing it the first time, please hear me out the first time. But if you're not open to reciprocate or at least comprehend as to what I'm saying, just so things could go smoothly or things we could possibly work on, then you know what I mean. I'm just not going to say anything else. I'll be silent, but silence is deadly because like silence just kills the relationships. It kills any
Yes.
relationships, friendships, relationships
Yes.
with your family,
Preach.
with your friends, your coworkers, because the things that often go unsaid becomes a problem at the end of the day. And then
Mhm.
here you two aren't even talking anymore, even on speaking terms. Like, well, dang, well, what happened?
what
It
happened.
could be two different perspectives. Like, like us women, we have our own perspective of things, and men have their own opinion and perspective of things too. They may view things differently than how we view it, because men and women think very differently. We're alike, but then not alike at all when it comes to certain aspects with relationships and communications.
Yeah, right.
We're more in tune with our emotions than guys. And not saying all guys aren't in tune with their emotions, they're in tune to a certain level. But if they haven't manned up or haven't like found a way to become that man that they're supposed to be, and they're still living their life as a boy or someone that's immature rather than being mature, they're not going to communicate and be open to listening.
Right.
That is true.
And Liz says, she says, men who show emotion are sexy. I don't always want a brick wall of a man. Have to agree with that one.
Yes, I love it too in an interesting kind of way. I'm listening to something coming in.
That's that flow. That's that music. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of From Her Point of View talk show with your girl, LeeLee the Goddess, and
Mimie Acosta.
All right. And we had the pleasure and honor of enjoying Andrea Ward. Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much. This show is brought to you by I Said It Management. Again, if you want to find me, you can look me up, LeeLee the Goddess. Just Google me. You'll find me on different social media platforms where you can listen to my music. Follow me on YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe, and share.
Yes, please do. And you can find me at M.I.A Entertainment Group on IG or Mimie Acosta on all different platforms. And Andrea?
You could find me at www.redemptionimages.com. Also Instagram, Andrea the Creator, and Redemption Images, as well as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
All right, ladies. This was a great episode today. Everybody, shout out to you, the audience, for tuning in and giving us your awesome questions. We were able to answer, connect with you, and God bless you. Many blessings.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yes.
I'm gonna do my dance. Watch it. Is it there? Oh, by the way, if you would like to be a guest or a sponsor, be sure to email herpointofview@aol.com. Gotta leave you with the hookup.
That's right. How could we forget that?
Yo, let me give it to you right.
All night, no, we ain't never gonna stop. I
Never had it like this before.
no, gotta keep it together.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a real good, a sexual fight.
Give it to you all night, right?
I'ma take you some loving, sweet delicious somethings. Only you, I'm so gifted. See the flood our love brings. Take it to the floor, what's up? Our flexibility, you gon' find out. Time out, gon' pull out. No doubt. Omega Ishimasu. Anata no ai o misete kudasai. Oh, you gonna feel it, sensual magic. Yeah. Baby, tell me how you feel. Straightforward, 100, keeping always real. Cause I'm giving it to you right. Pleasure on, going all night. You know the deal, and it gon' last for life.
Hi, Charlene. Come on in.